Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Kevin. Welcome to OneClass. Today I'm going to be teaching a little bit of economics, a little bit about me. I hold a bachelor's in economics as well as a master's, and I also work as an economist. Today I'm just going to walk you through some common problems in economics, both either high school or college level. Probably 5 questions over the next half hour, so might run a little long, might run a little short, not sure. Basically what I'm going to do is just verify solutions and provide the background knowledge needed for you to solve these problems. So looking at our first problem here, it reads, which of the following characterizes monopolistic competition? Possible answers are A, many interdependent firms sell a homogeneous product. B, a few firms produce a particular type of product. C, many firms produce a particular type of product, but each maintains some independent control over its own price. And D, a few firms produce all of the market supply of a good. As our junior tutor has written here, the correct answer is C. Many firms produce a particular type of product, but each maintains some independent control over its own price. Examples of monopolistic competition are things like hairdressers and restaurants. So what our junior tutor has written here is that monopolistic competition is a market structure that consists of many sellers selling somewhat different products from the competitors, but possess some market power as far as the price of their products is concerned. Just give me a second here. I'm going to make sure my mic is working. It looks like it is. Sorry, I'll start that over. Monopolistic competition is a market structure that consists of many sellers selling somewhat different products from the competitors, but possess some market power as far as the price of their products is concerned. It is through product differentiation that a firm under monopolistic competition exercises partial control over price. Partial control over price leads to partial monopoly power, and product differentiation implies rival firms sell products which are not perfect substitutes, but are close substitutes to each other. Difference in design, color, or even packaging of the product attracts buyers to buy a particular product, even at a relatively higher price. Partial control over price exists, but full control over price is ruled out under monopolistic competition because there are many competitors in the market selling close substitutes. For example, if you're feeling a burger, you may want from McDonald's, which is slightly different than the one from A&W, which is slightly different from the one from Harvey's, so on and so forth. So I'm going to kind of draw out all the characteristics of monopolistic competition. I'm going to show you kind of 2 different graphs to explain it. And run through a couple examples and differences from perfect competition and monopoly. So first, we will go through the characteristics. Writing sucks, you're going to have to bear with me. So call it A. First characteristic is that products are similar, but not identical. Similar, but not identical. And going back to kind of the burger example I had here, McDonald's burger is not all that different from an A&W burger, but they're different enough that the different companies can market them differently and exercise some control over the price. Second characteristic of monopolistic competition is that the firms differentiate their products to capture above market returns. We, of course, don't know the marginal cost of a Big Mac versus whatever Harvey sells. But we can assume that the pricing is made to capture profits above what they wouldn't in perfect competition. So differentiate so that we can get above market returns. Third characteristic of monopolistic competition is that there's heavy advertising. This isn't a necessity, but it's just something that's like very common with these types of firms. Kind of going back to the restaurant example, they're all trying to get your business for their slightly differentiated product. So you're going to see a lot of ads about why the Big Mac is so good, why the A&W burger is so good, etc. There's also exceptions to this. For example, there's not many ads you're going to see about which hairdresser to go to, even though they're offering slightly differentiated products as well, in that one hairdresser's haircut is different from another hairdresser's. And D, there are many firms. So for example, this is obviously not monopoly, duopoly, and oligopoly, anything of that nature. What else to add there? There is free entry and exit. And what this means is that there's no barriers to entry. So if you guys remember in a monopoly, the reason other firms aren't joining the market structure is because there's some barrier to entry, whether it be natural, technological, etc., that is preventing them from doing so. Free entry and exit. I think I'm forgetting, yeah, I am forgetting one. Last one is that they make normal profits in the long run. Profits, I'm going to denote with the symbol pi. So they can make normal profits, or they do make, sorry, normal profits in the long run, but they can make supernormal profits in the short run. An example of this might be McDonald's does its dollar drink days, and all of a sudden I'm buying all my coffee from there. If the revenue goes up by more than it was before, the price going down because more people are buying, this could lead to sort of supernormal profits. I can't really shrink that or anything, so I'm going to give you guys a second to take a picture if you'd like. Then after that, I'm going to erase it to get to the graphs. 3, 2, 1. So first, I'm going to draw the short run for us. As always, we've got quantity on the x-axis and price on the y-axis. And basically, what we need to remember for the short run is that it is exactly the same as a monopoly. So this is when they're making supernormal profits. That does spell monopoly, believe it or not. So we've got marginal revenue coming down. A lower point than we have demand coming down. And demand is going to equal your average revenue in this situation. We check to just make sure I draw this right. Marginal cost dips, then comes up. And average cost starts below demand, like so. So if we remember, a monopolist produces where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Draw that down, call that Q star. And next we move up to the point where we hit the demand curve. And the point where it crosses the average cost curve. Basically, this is the markup here in price. Call that M. Call this P1, and P2. And basically, their supernormal profits are characterized by this box here. It's about to get cramped. So those are supernormal profits right in this box here. Once again, monopolist produces where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost, draw it up to the demand curve and draw over. And then where this line crosses the average cost curve, the difference there, aka the markup, is going to be our supernormal profits in the short run. Again, I'll give you guys a second to take a picture of that, and then I'll move on to drawing the long run. I don't think I have anything else to add to this one. All right, moving on in 3, 2, 1. All right, I've got the long run. So not all that different. They're almost the same graph. But again, so quantity on the x-axis, price on the y-axis. Our marginal revenue curve. That's our demand or actual revenue curve. Draw our marginal cost again. First slopes down, then it slopes up. And the difference here is that the AC is going to meet the demand curve. So again, they're going to produce where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Sorry, I'm probably going to have to redraw this AEC curve. It was poorly drawn. And the marginal revenue equals marginal cost. You're going to draw up, and the AC curve should intersect with the demand curve right where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. So here we've got our Q star, and here we've got our P star. I'm trying to think of what else to add to this. The long run, basically supernormal profits encourages new firms to enter. This reduces demand for existing firms and leads to normal profits. So if we remember the short run image that I just erased, some firms in the short run can make supernormal profits. This is going to incentivize new firms to enter, and then this is going to reduce the demand for the existing firms and bring them back to normal profits, which is why our long run situation has normal profits. So long run, I'm going to write supernormal profits incentivizes new firms. Demand then falls for existing firms. And as a result, these firms return to normal profit levels. Examples, as I said, are like restaurants, hairdressers, things of that nature. I might add just one last thing here. Gonna erase this and you guys can take a picture if you need. Okay. I'm gonna erase this in 3, 2, 1. So it's different from a monopoly. because there are no barriers to entry in this. Remember, the short run in this situation is identical to that of monopoly, but the difference is that they return to normal profits in the long run. So the difference from monopoly is that there's free entry and exit, or no barriers to entry. Free entry and exit. And it's going to be different from perfect competition because they're not price takers. They do have a little bit of power to exercise price control in the market. Different from perfect competition. That one's extra hideous because they are not price takers. And this is because the products are differentiated. In a perfect competition, everybody's producing identical products. As a result, they really have no influence over the price, where in this case, we've got slightly differentiated products. Another good example might be you go for a burger at the Works, you're probably going to pay more than if you go for one at like Burger King or some other terrible restaurant. That's all I have on monopolistic competition. So I'm going to say excellent analysis. The answer is correct. And we can move on to the next question here.